I was in my friend Jimmy Conrad's stream, and he had mentioned to me how he gave his opinion on the Champions League final, saying that he thought Real Madrid were going to win the match. And, well, a Liverpool fan in the chat wasn't too happy about that, so he said, "You're a stupid Yank who knows nothing about football. Have you even been to a match before?" Now, I don't know if you guys know who Jimmy Conrad is, but I'll fill you in really quickly. He played for nearly 15 years professionally and MLS mostly, a little bit in Poland, and also got 27 caps for the U.S. men's national team, quite a few of them as the captain. And he even did this to Lionel Messi.
Who's the best player in the world?
Lionel Messi.
Who's the best player of all time?
Lionel Messi.
So you could say that he knows a little bit about football, at least for an American, right? So I would love for you guys to go into this video with a little bit of an open mind, despite the fact that I don't have a Wikipedia page of my accolades defending myself as a stupid Yank who knows nothing about football. Group A might not be the most exciting or the most talented group of countries in the tournament. I'm not going to come out right out of the gate and say that there's going to be a bunch of surprises in this group either. I honestly think that Netherlands are probably going to win this group with either 7 or 9 points pretty convincingly, which means that we only have to decide who finishes second in this group and plays against the USA in the first round of the knockout stages, because I think we can all agree, especially my 60% United Kingdom viewer base, that the USA is going to win Group B with no problems at all, right, guys? Right? You can't write off the host nation. I don't care that Qatar is the second lowest ranked team in the tournament according to the FIFA Coca-Cola rankings. You just can't take that without a grain of salt because they don't get to play in the qualifiers. All the teams that qualified for the World Cup, other than the host nation, got to play in qualifiers, and generally they all won these games and went up in ranking. So any of the host nations, whether they're good or not, never had that opportunity. And Russia, I think we can agree, in 2018 were a pretty good team, but they didn't get that opportunity to go up in ranking. So take it with a grain of salt. Sure, Qatar could go 0-3 in this tournament, but given the fact that they won the Asian Cup a couple years ago, every single time they've played in a guest tournament, like in the Gold Cup, they've competed with some of the best countries in that region. I don't think you can really write them off. And I think they're true contenders to get that second place. You also have to consider they are playing in their home country for possibly and hopefully the only time in our lifetime they're going to play with some emotion and passion, at least the ones that were born in Qatar and not Brazil. So you cannot write off Qatar. Senegal on paper, though, are probably the most talented team. They've got players like Sadio Mane, Kalidou Koulibaly, Edouard Mendy. These players have played at the highest level of football for the last few years, and they could really do something here at the World Cup if they can fill in those gaps, build the team chemistry. I'm really hoping that an African country can actually do well at a World Cup, because in the last decade or two, there haven't been too many African countries that have made their mark on the World Cup. Could Senegal take this second place and get into the knockout stage? I think they could, and you can't completely write off Ecuador either. They've got a South American team who is used to playing against very good teams like Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, and Chile from the past couple of years, and Colombia from a few years ago. They've got that competition, so they're used to the level, and they're finally at the level they need to get to the World Cup. Unfortunately, Colombia and Chile aren't nearly as good as they used to be, so a new fourth place has arisen. Will Ecuador do it? I don't think so, but they could, and they have the physicality to really keep up with any team. My final prediction for Group A, Netherlands take the top spot. I'm going to go Senegal in second, but I really cannot be too sure about that. And as we hop in to Group B, this is where things are going to get a little controversial. Group B is the most controversial group for my audience because there's England, Wales, and USA all in the exact same group. So no matter who I put first and second, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people down in the comments. But I'm not here to appease everybody. I'm here to give my honest opinion as an American who's getting out of this group. And my team, USA, we're the most inconsistent of them all. I mean, we could beat Mexico one day and then lose to Trinidad the next, because if you look back at 2017, that's exactly what our campaign was, inconsistency, and that's why we didn't qualify for the World Cup in Russia. That's why this is our first World Cup in 8 years since 2014, and only 1 or 2 players are going to be returning from that 2014 roster. We've got a new group of young players, and we're the youngest team in the tournament. Is it going to be enough to beat teams like England, who have proven themselves at the highest level, and they made it to the semifinals of the last World Cup, and then they made it to the finals of Euros just to lose to penalties. So realistically, that next step is winning the World Cup this year. They are going to be very determined, but England themselves haven't been on a hot streak either. They just lost to Hungary 4-0 in the UEFA Nations League. And say what you will about the Nations League, whether you care about it or not, 4-0 against a team that's not even going to the World Cup doesn't bode well for your morale. So that has got to be factored into the fact that, is England going to be in good form as they enter into this World Cup? Wales, however, definitely is. They've proven themselves in the qualifiers, and then they did what they needed to do in the playoffs to get here. They are motivated. They are doing well. Gareth Bale is obviously Wales Golf Madrid. He cares about Wales. He will play well, and I've never really seen too many players with the ability to impact an entire team the way Gareth Bale can impact an entire team on his day. Wales isn't no slouch other than Gareth Bale either, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I think, especially with the Eurocentric view that most of us have, is Iran is going to finish last, but they were the first team to qualify for the World Cup. They walked through the Asian qualifiers with a breeze. It was no competition for them. So, despite the fact that I didn't watch any of those qualifiers and can't name more than 5 Iranian players, should we write them off completely? I don't know. But here's my prediction on this group. I still have England finishing first, and I don't think it would be too crazy to say that they'll drop points against teams like Iran or like USA. In fact, the England national team has never beaten the USA in a competitive match ever before. And in 2010, when we were in the same group for the World Cup, it ended in a 1-1 draw, and despite the fact that USA was definitely a worse team than that England team, they finished first in the group above England, who finished second. So anything could happen, and I think there's probably a little bit of bias here, but I'm very hopeful that USA can take that second spot despite being the youngest team in this tournament. But I'm very scared for what's going to happen on November 21st against Wales, because that game could really decide who's going to be taking that second spot. The final 2 playoff spots have been concluded. Peru was knocked out by Australia's dancing goalkeeper on penalties, and Costa Rica knocked down New Zealand for the final spot, which means all 32 spots for the World Cup are locked in. So I need you to comment down below, if you've made it to the end of the video, to lock in your prediction for the 2022 World Cup winner. Who is taking it home? And I know you've been waiting for my prediction. So my prediction to who's going to win the 2022 World Cup. I was correct in 2018 with France. I was wrong in 2014 with Argentina, although I was so close. So I'm going for the back-to-back, and the winner of 2022 World Cup in Qatar will be Brazil. That's my team. Neymar's got a lot to prove if he can stay healthy. Brazil have such a strong squad. They didn't lose a single match in qualifiers, and I think they're due for a World Cup. So that is my answer down below. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and let me know if you guys want to see more content just like this. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.